Don't with me.
Admit it, you just love it when he's angry. This dauntless, foul-mouthed 16-star Michelin chef is never one to cop out from a kitchen challenge. We live for those verbal tussles, threats, and anything that could erupt into a major breakdown.
Come in here and help me instead of running your jaw.
Ramsay's surprise visit.
This is not right. This is fucking miles away. This is a nightmare.
Number 1 on our list is Bonaparte Restaurant. The kitchen only had 2 staff members, and the new owner, Sue Ray, was at her wit's end.
How many are you having for lunch?
About 2.
2, ready.
That's it.
The restaurant was in disarray.
You honestly can't taste that burn?
But now you point it out. Yeah.
Ramsay, in an attempt to overhaul Tim's cooking skills, had him prepare a 3-course meal for his family. Unfortunately, he burned the croutons, served undercooked chicken, and the soft pie. The Valentine's Day dinner, however, was a success, thanks to Gordon Ramsay's acidic but effective mentoring. The real test is how they do a month later. It seemed that the 21-year-old chef was a liability, having received 2 warnings from owner Sue Ray for his attitude.
A whole week drumming into their thick skulls, and it comes to this.
This is a living fucking nightmare.
It looked like Ramsay's overhaul didn't yield results as the kitchen was still chaotic and ingredients were miserably mishandled. Liking this video so far? Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Gordon can't handle a delusional chef.
This has to be one of the most frustrating kitchen nightmares ever.
Refusing to take Ramsay's advice, this delusional chef of Mill Street Bistro was defiant about everything.
Wake up! You wake up, idiot!
Chef Ramsay hated Joe and made no effort at hiding it.
Save whatever little reputation you got left. Surely you got a bit more respect than that. I'm trying to reason with you, Joe.
In Gordon Ramsay fashion, nothing was to the Michelin star chef's liking.
Catch to the frozen freezer? We have fresh fish.
No, we do not.
As if things couldn't get any worse, Joe had insinuated that he was
self-taught by old-school Europeans.
I didn't tell you that.
Ramsay felt like a godsend to his staff, because change was finally coming.
I feel like Christmas has come early.
Joe's arrogance began to crumble early in the game.
It was a point well taken, and I'm always willing to learn more.
So, the first thing Chef Ramsay did was to add an item to the menu that would otherwise be taboo on Joe's list. A burger.
I can look at my burger and identify what I'm eating. See what I mean?
Yes.
And though he went toe-to-toe with Gordon in the latter part of the show, he ended up keeping the new menu even if he went back to his old ways.
It's over to you. Didn't have to be that rough, let me tell you, because you're one stubborn man.
Chef Ramsay and the Seascape Fiasco.
Little butterflies in the stomach. I'm gonna be insulted by the best chef in the world.
You'd think that one of Long Island's most historic restaurants would be far from the D-list.
We've had complaints about that sewage smell.
It's a local disaster, with Irene and Peter, the mother and son owners, at each other's throats.
This place is a nightmare. I hope you haven't seen nothing yet.
And the food was far from fresh.
But like the decor, you touch it and it just disintegrates.
While Ramsay hit it off good with most of them, he didn't receive quite as warm a welcome with the senior chef Doug.
Gordon Ramsay coming here, to me, it's a slap in the face.
As in practice, Ramsay observed one dining service before dishing out his comments.
A sous chef that can't cook fish, a head chef that's just moping around doesn't care. This is a joke.
Add attitude to the mix and the problem was even bigger.
You don't want to taste?
No, I'm good. I didn't try the fish that Gordon had made because I basically know what striped bass tastes like.
Whipping back the Seascape into shape involved more than just a kitchen overhaul. Ramsay had to play life coach to Peter too.
Come on! I don't know what's happened, but the last 3 or 4 punches have been stronger and stronger.
Sebastian can't cook.
I understand the guy's a professional, but to say something like that, a sick bag, come on.
Anyone would be pretty foolish refusing advice from the Gordon Ramsay. But refusing it and getting angry? That's a different level of insanity.
I was basically kicked in the face. To me, that shows ignorance and a lack of respect.
In this episode, Chef Gordon Ramsay visited Sebastian's in Toluca Lake, California.
Throw him out. Throw him out.
Yeah.
How does Gordon Ramsay abhor Sebastian? Let us count the ways.
They're fresh?
Yes, it is.
They are frozen.
Frozen.
Hamburgers that we just started making, we make fresh.
Pizza dough?
Pizza dough, no. That comes in flash frozen for us. I would love to franchise this and have a Sebastian's all over the world.
You haven't got fucking 1 right so far. How the f can you think about 2?
Things escalated when he
I wanted a puke bag.
Excellent.
It looks like a can of dog food. What an embarrassment to New York strip steak.
After Gordon Ramsay left, Sebastian went back to the old menu and the place had to close in January of 2008.
It took everything in me not to just freak out.
Chef Gordon Ramsay turned marriage counselor.
You can't just go and nick recipes from cookbooks and, hey, presto, I'm a chef, and then write your own fucking reviews.
Gordon drives his car to Lampeter, Wales, to visit the Fish and Anchor. Here he found former pugilist Mike running this picturesque blue restaurant with wife Karen. Despite the efforts, the menu was a confused list of trophy dishes from a mix of recipe books.
Like a fucking magpie.
Yeah.
Trophy, 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 stick it on, stick it on, stick it on.
Yeah.
And you don't mess with curry when it comes to Gordon.
Was that Lloyd Grossman's sauces?
No.
Uncle Ben.
No, there's a sauce.
Uncle Ben's.
Oh, yeah.
The most interesting ingredient to the mix? Karen and Mike's relationship.
He is very critical of me. And I don't know why, because I do my job and I do my job bloody well.
The Fish and Anchor's reputation was obviously in the dumps, and the good reviews on Google?
The food has to be the best I've ever eaten, home or abroad.
Mike confessed to writing them all.
Can you blowtorch them, put some icing sugar on there, fucking caramelize them, or put them in the fucking bin?
The dinner service wasn't a surprise. Mike painfully struggled. The food took forever. One customer came into the kitchen and was told off. Another irate customer was asked to leave. By the end of the evening, most of the customers didn't get to eat, and the man and lady of the house disappeared.
And no wonder this place is in serious trouble, because that was appalling.
Gordon declares down with Downcity.
I think you're one of those customers that I would fire immediately. Yeah.
You fire customers?
I have.
Abby and best friend Rico Conforti purchased this restaurant in 2005. It was a source of pride and joy.
I was spending a lot of money in restaurants, eating and drinking, and I figured why not give myself the money.
Things began to take a nosedive when Gordon casually mentioned
The room service next door was shocking.
We do the room service for that hotel. What was the problem?
But what could possibly be wrong?
I think our menu is creative and the food is good. I don't know what's wrong.
The staff knew the answer, of course.
She doesn't want to admit that she's part of the problem.
Nobody could say anything about the menu because it's her menu. She takes it personally.
Gordon found that the kitchen was a total disaster. Abby had recently fired the head chef and wouldn't appoint a new one.
This is American comfort food. Somebody's dreaming here.
Gordon Ramsay didn't mince words.
You have no cooking background, but you put the menu together. Abby, you've got to understand how frustrating this is.
And the clash between Gordon and Abby reached boiling point.
I will go. You are so in denial. You need therapy.
That Gordon walked out, but Rico chased Gordon and pulled him in once more.
I've had failure in my life, but one thing I'm not in is denial. And when I do make a mistake, I admit it.
Eventually, Abby relented.
I think I'm going to open up that hot dog stand down the beach.
Gordon Ramsay discovers a mouse at Blackberry's.
When was the last time you spotted a mouse in here?
I've never seen one.
You've never seen one?
Except that one that was under the steam table that was dead a few months back.
Owner Shelley was successful at the catering business, so taking her food venture to the next level seemed like a wise move. Blackberry's was funded by her mother's retirement fund. To make things worse, she was $200,000 deep in debt.
This is ridiculous. Really ridiculous.
The dry pork, mushy pasta, and bland greens didn't quite make it to Chef Ramsay's satisfactory list. But that wasn't the highlight of this episode.
That? Have you got a bin?
Shelley and her fiancé accused him of planting the mouse.
Are you f***ing dreaming?
But wait, there's more. When Shelley confronted him with planting the mouse for TV's sake,
You can take your restaurant and stick it. I am gone. I'm out of it.
Gordon called a staff meeting to highlight the lack of communication.
We kind of grew up together, and she is a control freak. I think that you talk too much and you know too much.
This is the attitude. That's what makes this so rough.
Shelley could no longer deny that she had been at fault.
Your livelihood is on the line. I mean, you're in a serious position.
Dillons.
Frozen fish or a great chef.
Dillons sat at the heart of New York City. With all good intention, Mohammed hired 3 managers.
I'm the general manager.
I'm the operations manager.
And I'm a floor manager here.
Takes a lot to make a stew.
The menu was just as clueless.
British, Italian, buffalo.
Yes.
The only thing that's not on here is Chinese.
The business had been losing about $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and they couldn't continue losing that much for long.
Ironically, Gordon's successful New York restaurant is only 2 blocks away from this kitchen nightmare.
Gordon wasn't happy.
May the Lord above not poison me. Amen. In terms of beauty, it's not exactly an Indian classic, is it?
He sent back the vegetarian appetizers he ordered because
That one's got meat in there. It's not vegetarian. tastes like lamb.
Later that day, the dinner service wasn't surprising.
It was taking so long for all this food. My first table still hasn't gotten their entree.
The three managers were nowhere near what they were supposed to do, and the standoff with the chefs didn't make things any easier.
Oh, holy Moses.
Fortunately, the relaunch was a success thanks to drastic changes. Martin quit and Khan stepped up to the challenge.
Next time, I'm coming to eat. I'm not coming to work.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Good to see you.
Gordon can't stand Nino's lies.
Take away the cleaning. What else do you do?
Eldest son Nino took on the role of manager when his father Vincenzo's Alzheimer's began to take a serious toll. Michael, the younger son, was annoyed at how older brother Nino was chosen to manage the restaurant over him.
I'm really quite tired. I didn't sleep last night.
Terrific, thank you.
Turned out that there had been no key person and everyone seemed to be running the restaurant.
He spends a lot of time sitting down with customers. I mean, not just visiting, promoting the business, sitting down and talking for long periods of time.
As Nino rallied on with his lies, Gordon found gum under his table and cobwebs all over the place. Of course, it wouldn't be surprising to have found the chicken slimy and the meatball soggy.
That tastes 54 years old. Mush, disgusting.
The dinner service didn't do any better.
What is that? Come on, guys.
The place was later revamped with new family tables and an overhauled menu.
Looks like it should be in a painting.
Very authentic.
Michael's intention to help backfired, and in the end, he didn't feel that this was a positive change. But overall, the relaunch was a resounding success.
Nina, you didn't disappear. You stood there and took it. Well done.
Thank you.
Chef Gordon Ramsay and the mother of all outbursts.
You guys, I make excellent food.
Truth is, when you think of kitchen nightmares, Amy's Baking Company could very well be its poster child. The owners, husband and wife, Sammy and Amy, are self-entitled psychopaths you'd love to hate.
I'm Antoine! I am the king of cuisine!
The episode began with pleasantries.
Please,
come around, my darling.
So nice to meet you.
I'll give him a hug.
Which weren't foreboding of what was to come.
If you came to eat to enjoy, then you should know what you like to eat, sir.
I am going to really hurt somebody if they send back my cake.
And it only gets better.
Don't with me.
Yeah, I will with you. Who the f you think you are?
After Gordon lost it, Amy did too.
You all think that you can come in here and say these things? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Customers were made to wait too long and the food was no longer worth the wait. Amy, who was already in such a foul mood, fired a loyal server on the spot.
I wasn't doing it. You've had an attitude with me all night long, Katie. Okay, I quit.
In a last-ditch effort to rehab the restaurant, Chef Ramsay sat the couple down, but Amy remained stubborn and arrogant.
Is it dry or is it wet? Which one is it?
One at a time.
The episode ended with Gordon saying that he couldn't help people who couldn't help themselves.
You have the right to run the business the way you want to run your business. I have the right to do the right thing.
We hope you liked the video. Are there any heated outbursts we missed? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our other videos as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that gray notification bell to join our notification squad.